Welcome back to Rich Words Music, where today we're looking at this. It's the Walrus Audio Fundamental Series Drive Pedal, and this is part of the 2023 released Fundamental Series of USA-built pedals that give players a more affordable entry into the Walrus audio range. So in that sense, it's kind of similar to the philosophy of something like the JHS 3 Series pedals, but there are 8 in total in the series. I've been sent all of them by Face Benelux, the distribution partner for Walrus over here, and I'm going to be making videos about pretty much all of them, so thanks to Face for sending those out to me. But we're going to be looking today at the drive pedal in as much detail and depth as I can possibly do, because despite this being the most affordable pedal in the Walrus drive range, it can actually do quite a lot, at least on paper. So first I'll tell you about the specs and the features of the pedal, then we'll play it in as many different musical styles and settings as I possibly can, and at the end I'll give you a few more detailed opinions and thoughts about this pedal and whether or not I think it's going to be worth your money at the end of the day, so stick around for that. First, those specifications and features then. So like I said, $99 or 99 euros, made in the USA as well, so that's pretty darn cool. Now, the distinguishing feature about these Fundamental Series pedals is the fact that we have 3 sliders here on the front. That's not something that you see often with guitar effects pedals, although you'll know it from mixers and stuff like that. So on the top here, we do have indeed 3 sliders. One is for the gain, the amount of dirt in your signal. One is for the tone, the amount of high frequencies in your signal. And one is for the volume, how loud you want the pedal to be. Next to that, we have a 3-way switch that gives you 3 different modes in the pedal. So there's a smooth mode, a crunch mode, and a bright mode. Now, Walrus Audio doesn't tell us anywhere on their website or in their marketing blurb if this pedal is supposed to sound like anything you'd know, like a tube screamer or a blues breaker or anything like that, or if it's 3 unique homemade sort of circuits. But what they do tell us is that the smooth sound is that of a classic soft clipping silicon overdrive, clean and smooth. The crunch mode is silicon soft clipping with added hard clipping silicon diodes and a slight low end boost. It's crunchy and edgy apparently. And the bright mode is the silicon soft and hard clipping from the crunch mode with a pre-clipping low end cut. So it's going to be bright and glassy as well. So 3 distinct flavors of overdrive here combined with those 3 sliders should give us a great many options. Now here's the switch, and it has a nice soft press to it, feels really good under the foot. The pedal itself is slightly smaller than you might expect, and it comes in a nice, decent, solid feeling metal housing. We have top mounted jacks here for your leads, and you plug in your 9-volt power here on the side. There is no room for a battery. So that's what we've got on the Fundamental Series drive pedal, and next what we're going to do is play it in as many different musical styles as I can possibly muster up today. So my rig for today is going to be my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 amplifier, and we'll be on the amp's clean channel on a pretty neutral clean tone for most of the time, and we'll really let the pedal do the work. Now I've got my Fender Telecaster for single coil tones today. Note that that guitar has a neck humbucker, but I put it split to single coil mode. And for humbucking tones, we'll be using my Epiphone Les Paul Traditional Pro. After I'm done playing a bunch of different riffs in as many styles as I can, we'll do a couple of loops, one with the Tele, one with the Les Paul, where we really flick between the modes and pull the sliders backwards and forwards and see how versatile we can get the drive pedal to be. And after that, we'll do a short little bonus loop where I run the drive pedal up against 3 other classic overdrive pedal types, namely the Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini, then against the Greer Lightspeed Organic Overdrive pedal, which is more of a transparent overdrive with a blues breaker sort of a flavor, and also the Tone City Dry Martini. You might not be familiar with this pedal, but it is supposed to be a clone of the famous full tone OCD, which should sound quite similar to the hard clipping overdrive sounds of the crunch setting on this pedal, at least in theory, at least in my head. So we'll try that out a little bit later in the video. Timestamps to everything down below if you'd like to skip through, but enough talk, let's play the Walrus Audio Fundamental Drive pedal now, and we'll speak in more detail about it afterwards. And now it's time for that quick test between the Fundamental Series Drive and three other famous types of overdrive, namely the Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini, the Greer Lightspeed Organic Overdrive, which is a transparent overdrive in the Timmy or Bluesbreaker vein, and the Tone City Dry Martini, which is supposed to be a clone of the full tone OCD. We'll play each of the four pedals together, we'll stack them up as well, and we'll hear how similar the three others sound to the Drive, and how close we can get it to sounding like a Tube Screamer, like a transparent overdrive, and like a full tone OCD sort of a pedal. So enjoy. Okay then, so that was the Walrus Audio Fundamental Series drive pedal, and I hope you enjoyed the playing and the tones, and there certainly were a lot of tones to get through in this video. Leave me a comment down there telling me if you preferred the smooth mode, the crunch mode, or the bright mode on this pedal, and I look forward to hearing what you guys think. But now what I'm going to do is tell you my opinions about the pedal, and we'll start with the things that I like. And the first thing that I like is the sounds. This pedal sounds fantastic, and it's incredibly versatile too. It has an organic feel to it, and it just works for so many different genres of music. And if you know my channel, you'll know that I like to play and flip between a lot of different genres of music. So you've got the three modes on this pedal, like I said, and they all have their own distinct personalities. They're all suited to different kinds of music, and they all work best for certain kinds of things. Now, throughout the video, we sort of progressed in the amount of gain that we had. We started with basically nothing for a pushed clean tone. We progressed through indie and classic rock, then we did some harder stuff, and we ended up tuned down to drop D and trying metal tones as well. And this pedal handled all of it with aplomb. So very, very cool indeed. Full thumbs up to Walrus for the tones in this pedal. The three modes definitely have their own specialities. The crunch mode, for example, doesn't really like to do a clean boost. It's too much for that. It just wants to go straight for rock and roll. And there's nothing wrong with that either, because of course we've got the smooth and the bright modes for your lower gain drive tones. Actually, for me personally, the bright mode is the surprise hit package of this pedal because it's fantastic for everything. It does get, surprise, surprise, a little bit bright, so you've got to wind the tone down to suit your rig, but it's a fantastic sounding overdrive and does so many different kinds of voices. Now for the cleaner stuff, I thought the bright was great, and I thought the smooth was fantastic as well. You'll get fantastic bluesy tones and push cleans out of this pedal, no problem whatsoever with those. The smooth excelled when I went up to the mid-range overdrive tones. It did great, thick, stadium rock sounding tones like AC/DC, classic rock sounds really, really nicely. The bright did too, and the crunch came into its own for medium and higher gain overdrive sounds as well. The crunch sounds fantastic for hard rock, for punk rock, for things like that that require a little bit of snarling attitude. Really, really fantastic. As we got up to higher gain tones, the bright came into its own again, because that offers a certain amount of clarity that the other two modes don't quite have, because it cuts out any of that flubby low end that's going to stop you having tight chugs. So the bright mode with everything pushed up was actually really, really good for the metal type tones. Surprising how much high gain is in this pedal if you really push it and if you really tweak the sliders to suit your rig. So it worked really well there as well. And when we went up to the crunch channel of the amplifier, again, the bright mode is simply a fantastic boost running into an already overdriven amp. It tightens things up, it adds a bit of extra gain, a little bit like a tube screamer. Really, really recommend it for that. So three great different modes in terms of sounds. In terms of tones overall, there's pretty much nothing you can't do with this pedal. So really, really decent there. What else do I like about it? Well, first the price. I think for a USA built overdrive pedal, $99 is really, really reasonable. You know, you can pay an awful lot more for an American built American-built Overdrive. Of course, there are cheaper Overdrive pedals out there, but if you want to spring to something American-made, or if you've got $100, this one should definitely be worth looking at. Apart from that, the build quality seems to be really decent. It's really solidly made, and we've got this nice soft switch. It's a decent size too, and I think it's going to fit on pretty much any pedal board. The sliders are something which became totally natural to me after about 5 minutes of use. This is something that online I've seen a lot of people saying, sliders, not too sure about those, why use them? There's going to be dust and stuff that's going to get into them, they're going to fail. I don't see any evidence of that yet, but call me again in 5 years and we'll see how the sliders are getting on. But for me, like I said, after 5 minutes, they just sort of feel like home. It's a really decent visual aid as well of seeing just how much drive you've got. I do still find myself saying 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock or whatever, but anyway, the sliders are a decent addition too. When it comes to things that I don't quite like so much about the pedal, well, there's nothing really. I really am struggling to find something that I don't like, but I will relate a story that I've seen again many times online, and that is that you've got top-mounted jacks here for your cables, but you plug in the power here. And what that means is that you're always going to have a power supply coming out this side, and you can't put this pedal tight up against another one on a pedal board like that. Not a problem for me whatsoever, but if you're someone who really does squeeze pedals in, that might be an issue. So this is the Fundamental Series drive pedal, $99 or €99. And if you're asking yourself what might compete with this pedal in terms of price, quality and performance, well, there's a lot of them out there because every company under the sun has made a bunch of different drives, and good luck trying out all of them. You will not have the time. So what I would recommend you do is kind of think about the sort of tones that you're after, look up a short list and test the ones that are going to work best for you. If you're looking for something with a similar sort of philosophy and design style to the Fundamental drive, then something like the Overdrive pedals in the JHS3 series are going to be great to look at as well. They start at around the same price, around $100. They have a number of different options. They're very, very decent pedals indeed, made in the USA as well. But for $100, you're kind of at a threshold where you could buy any kind of major Overdrive style that you want. You could buy something like an Ibanez Tube Screamer. You could buy a Nobles ODR1. You could buy something like a Boss ODR1 or a DS1. You could buy a Proco Rat. You could get into clon sort of territory and buy something like an Electro Harmonic Soul Food. The options are almost endless. So again, think about the kind of drive that you would want and give it a test. What I will say though is that the Fundamental Series drive pedal can do a great imitation of almost all of those sounds. So that's definitely worth thinking about. And just a final tip from me on the versatility thing. If you like this pedal, if you like switching between the different modes, then you could also consider a dual overdrive pedal. Now this pedal only has one switch, but a dual pedal will give you two different switches, and you can move between the two different sides and stack them together with the tap of a single switch, which is something you don't get with the Fundamental Series drive. Now, a couple of options which I happen to have tested on this channel and will be linked there and down there as well are the NUX Ace of Tone, the NUX Queen of Tone, and also the Harley Benton Evil Twin. Those are all dual drives which are very affordable and offer you a huge range of different dirt tones. So check those out as well. That might be an option for you if you want even more in terms of foot switchable versatility than the drive pedal offers. In conclusion then, I'm a huge fan of the Fundamental Series drive pedal. It's a fantastic overdrive, it's amazingly versatile, and it sounded great for pretty much everything I tried it with. And what more can you say than that? It's going on my board, end of story. It's a great overdrive pedal. It's fundamental, it's basic in that sense, it's very simple to operate, but with the three different modes, you can get it to sound like pretty much anything, as you heard in the playing parts, and as you heard with the loops up against the other pedals. It's great into a clean amp, it's great into a dirty amp, it's great with single coil and humbucking pickups, but let me tell you, it works fantastically with all my guitars, the P90s and so on, so it just works, it just does a job. It sounds authentic, it sounds fantastic, and I really like the sliders too. I don't have an issue with anything about this pedal whatsoever, and I am a fully fledged fan. It's actually the first Walrus audio pedal that I've spent a lot of time with, and I'm really excited to dive into the rest of the Fundamental series and see what else is going to be on offer. And for $99 or euros, it's pretty much a no-brainer for me. So if you ever get the chance, try one out, and you never know, these sliders may end up on your board as well. I hope that this video has answered all of the questions that you might have had about this pedal, but if there's anything else that you'd like to know, drop me a line down there and I shall try to answer it to the best of my ability. And if you're still around, it would really make my day if you wanted to give the video a like, or maybe even sub to the channel, because that really does help. But that's been it for today's video. I've been Rich, and this has been the Walrus Audio Fundamental Series Overdrive, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.